Hey everyone, Gurky here with Exus, bringing you another King Arthur Legends Rise video. In this video, we're going to talk about the reroll targets. I've done quite a bit of testing, and I think we have some answers. All right, so we're going to go in here, and I'm going to tell you what I believe are the 3 reroll targets. Then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of why. So, first on our reroll target list, there's a slight caveat, is going to be ban. As you can see, I'm testing a lot of units out here. Okay, a lot. Ban is the first one on our list, and the reason being is pound for pound as of right now, he is the hardest hitting unit in the game. I'm sure that some of the other legendaries, end game, max chivalry, will out damage him. I'm sure of that. But we're talking about reroll targets you're going to get. And if you're re-rolling, most likely you're free to play or low spender, and you're not going to have those legendaries at C3, C8, whatever. Pound for pound, ban right now is the hardest hitting unit in the game. Unfortunately, you do start off with his Frost Relic. Doesn't mean he's bad. It just means that all the big dick damage that you're going to be doing is going to be AoE. And for story clear and most content, AoE is perfectly fine. But the Wind Relic is the one that is going to be putting out the big numbers. I'm consistently doing 30 to 40k if I per hit per S3. His S2 is doing a little bit less. I'm doing about 20 to 25k on full crits. His S3 is doing up to 60k, and his S2 is doing up to like 40k. Right? So attack one enemy 5 times, total damage 90%. Each extra point of attack speed increases damage per hit. Total extra damage is 1.5% attack. And the first 2 hits have a 40% chance to gain attack speed increase, which is huge. He's all about attack speed and crit damage. His S2 is similar. It's just lower modifier, 64%, and 1.2% attack speed, and then there's 50% chance to reduce the target's attack gauge by 5%. Now, if you go down here and you look at his skill level up, it'll be up to attack gauge decrease. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So it goes up to 25%, and then 60% chance to reduce it, 25%. It's pretty big. Let's go out here and check out his chivalries. Well, passive first. 100% chance to trigger when attack. Grants defense increase 1 to self and boars for 4 turns. And charges both of your attack gauges by 30%. Now, this does not say you have to have boars in your team. It just says self and boars. Defense increase for free is good no matter what content it's in, because you're always getting hit. You're always taking damage. And then the attack gauge increase. After triggering a critical strike, gain attack speed increase 1. Again, he's all about the attack speed. Chivalry 1 changes on the prowl trigger chance to 100% and affect target to self and boars. His C3. This is where he gets his really big damage boost. Grant self damage dealt to critical strike damage for the rest of the battle at the start of the battle. Huge numbers. I'm at C4. When hit while HP is 30% or lower, recover 300% attack. And then his C8, Lion's Rage grants self Fierce Blade for 2 turns. Now, what this is supposed to do, you give him a bonus of 20% damage to his critical damage, and it's supposed to, it says chance to activate Drain goes up to 100%, which I believe is his C1, or his S1. Do you even have that over here? Yeah. So that's one of the 3 units that we're recommending for the reroll targets. The second one is going to be Anguish. I made a full guide on Anguish. Basically, this guy is like the Dot King. I'm going to leave it at that. If you want to go check out the guide as to why Anguish is so good, as you can see. Wait, where is he at? I have him max chivalry. He's awakened the 5-star. What do I need to awaken? These stupid pedestals. Okay. The third reroll target, and this is going to be the first legendary unit, especially because he's on banner right now, is going to be Merlin. Okay. Merlin has a very, very good kit. Very high quality. So let's go over his passives real quick. I didn't make a character guide on Merlin and Merlin yet. So when using skill 2, when your HP is 50% or higher, changes weather today, recharges 5 vigor. So when using skill 2, which is going to be the skill that you're using most with him, it recharges 5 vigor twice. When using skill 3, grants all allies defense increase 2 and recovery over time for 2 turns. This is actually pretty good for when you do use his skill 3, which is pretty much when you're going to be doing story or farming or PvP. Extremely useful in PvP. He's probably top 2, top 3 PvP units. When using skill 3 while current HP is 30% or lower, revives all dead allies and gives them 20% of max HP. It goes up to 30%, but it goes up more. We'll get to that in a minute. Alright. So you start off with his Frost Relic. This is the relic that is hands down the best. So his S3 attacks all enemies 2 times. 35% chance for the last hit to inflict freeze for 1 turn. This is the skill that you're going to be using a lot during story and PvP. Skill 2, you're pretty much using it everywhere. Every piece of content in this game, you will use skill 2. Again, skill 3, there's times you'll use it. Attack 1 enemy 4 times, 168% attack, which is a pretty good modifier for damage for an S2. 100% chance to inflict frozen remains for 1 turn. So you're going to put this on an enemy. Okay, when that enemy is hit by any of your units, grants damage taken increase 1 to the attacker for 1 turn. Oh, that's damage for him. Grants dot immunity to the attacker, which would be your units, for 2 turns, which is extremely helpful in Gorgos and some other content. And 90% chance to recharge the attacker's gauge by 30%. This is one of the skills that's going to allow most of your units to basically lap a boss, or at least lap a boss every 2 turns, depending on how the turn the attack gauge falls. But wait, there's more. Over here in Chivalry. Chivalry 1 grants all allies Light of Dawn for the rest of the battle at the start of the battle. When the weather is day, target recovers 2% HP every turn. So when you use his skill to change to day, every unit is going to get basically a 2% heal over time, in addition to the recovery over time. C3. This is extremely powerful. At the start of the battle, inflict Phoenix Ashes or Frozen Remains on 1 random enemy for 2 turns. So we already know what Frozen Remains does. Like in Gorgos, for instance. Unfortunately, like when you're at Gorgos 10, he has his arms. But if this hits the main boss, and you go, you basically have dot immunity. Gorgos doesn't get a chance to go. You don't have to manipulate the turn with Merlin in order to get him to go first. Because the current Gorgos meta right now is Merlin goes first. Your other 2 units go before Gorgos. So you do have to have a higher attack speed in order to do that current meta. But with this, at minimum, 1/3 of your runs, he'll start with it. Again, you already know what that does. Now, Phoenix Ashes. When you put this on the enemy, when he's hit, heals the attacker based on the attacker's max HP. So you have a lifesteal. 100% chance to grant attack increase 1 to the attacker for 1 turn. 90% chance to recharge attacker's gauge by 30%. This is extremely powerful, especially on any monster you fight where it's just one monster. I mean, obviously, this will work in groups or whatever because it's going to give your team a huge advantage. Alright, what was that? There was, is there one more skill modifier? Yeah, right here. Clear Morning. Removes all debuff, dot, and abnormal status from all allies. Like, he is just extremely powerful. In my opinion, Merlin is probably top 5 unit in the game. Maybe top 3. Yeah, probably top 3. There are some units I have not tested. Unfortunately, the only 2 legendaries I don't have are Guinevere and Lancelot. Lancelot is a very powerful unit. Guinevere is also a very powerful unit, but Guinevere is kind of a must-have unit for one of the, for the end game content right now. The hardest boss in the game basically swallows up 3 of your units and leaves you with 1 unit on the board, and Guinevere negates that, and you start up. But as of right now, I wouldn't put Guinevere as the reroll target. Currently, Merlin's on banner. Even when he's off banner, he's still a reroll target. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.